Hey everybody, I'm Alice Keeler and I am here with Aida, and she and I are going to talk to you a little bit about coding. But before we do that, let me get back this way. Oh my gosh, we are without Melody this week. Melody is the street art master, so she's moving, and actually I think she went fishing in Homer. You know, she's up there in Alaska. I used to go fishing in Homer every summer, so that's a fun fact about me. What's something you did every summer?
Hi, everybody. Every summer, what I used to do, besides the chores that I think of, all the plans that I used to get from my parents, that was my summer activities all the time. And plus, actually, renovations every year. I remember every year there used to be summer renovations. My parents would come up with some wild ideas of how to renovate the house every year. So that was a fun fact about me.
That's a fun fact. Are you going to do anything this summer?
Well, it's more like outstanding item. I have to replace the rooftop. So roof, basically.
Oh,
summer project.
That is a project. So where are you right now? It looks like it's all like industrial. Usually at your house. I'm in my basement.
Yeah, I am actually in the office right now at work. So this is it's actually second time coming to office since I joined the company.
Ever going to the office? 2021.
Well, it's optional. Okay. You can choose to go, choose not to go, but more it's like coming to office at least once a week, to socialize with people does help actually with productivity. So it's important. Otherwise, it's going to be all about work. Here you can actually have small talks, which is cool.
So what did you work on this week that you're able to share?
Oh, okay. So we actually adding a lot of search functionality.
So just to remind everyone, Aida works for DoorDash and she codes the Android app for DoorDash.
Yep. So we're adding up search functionality in one of our features. So that's maximum I can say.
Yes, for sure. Definitely don't want you to give away any secrets, but always exciting to hear what kind of things you might be working on as a developer. So everybody, I just want to remind you that what we are doing here each week is just giving you a little window into what it might like to be in the life of a coder developer for Android apps. Android apps is the #1 operating system for mobile devices. More people have Android phones than they have iPhones. And just knowing, you don't need to learn how to code, but if you know just a little bit about it, it's a great way to mentor other students. Or if you're thinking, I'd like to start getting into this field, we're just giving you some little snippets of something to try each week and to look at without being overwhelming. So speaking of, let's go ahead and put the slides back up. This week, well, let's start with the Kotlin. Kotlin is the language that we use to code Android apps. It's a language, and it's Aida's preferred language, yes?
Yes. Yeah. I'm pretty sure a lot of Android developers prefer Kotlin over any other language.
Right. Well, this week I'm learning how to do Python, which you cannot use to code Android apps, right? But I can use it to code Google Classroom, so this is my new adventure this week, and we are going to I think we said we were going to do something else this week, but this came up for me as well this week is GitHub, because I am trying to learn how to do Python. So I was on the Google developers website, and they have a tutorial for Python, and it right in the very first page was like, you need a GitHub account. And then you mentioned it, and I thought we shouldn't get too far into this whole conversation without talking about what's the role of GitHub. So what is GitHub?
Okay, so GitHub, basically it's a website, right? The question is, what is exactly Git? Because Git is a way to control source code, right? So that's one thing important to understand.
Git is a way to, okay, so I've literally never heard that before.
Yes. It's a source control.
Okay.
That's what it is. Like, imagine, as I mentioned last time, whenever you have multiple devices, right? Like you have multiple laptops, you actually go to office, come back home, you want to have access to the most latest changes in your code. And in order to control those changes of the code, right, you have a Git, which is a control, like source control system, I would call it, right? So making sure that all the latest changes are available for you so you can actually pull those changes.
Let me see if I'm following you. So last week I downloaded Android Studio. So Android, I got it downloaded, and that's as far as I am. And so when I open up Android Studio, I type my code into Android Studio. I do not type it into a Git.
No.
Right. Okay. So I put my code, I type my code into Android Studio, and then but I want to back it up. I want to save it. Which way would you say that?
I would say back it up, right? Okay. You want to back it up basically to the cloud.
To the cloud, right? Okay. So I'm gonna upload the code up into GitHub into a Git, which means other places that use Gits, and this is a hub of Gits of one source.
Exactly. There are like multiple websites that mainly focus on source control, could be GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, and so on. But then the idea behind they all have this source control.
Overflow. Is that a place or no?
No, Stack Overflow, that's not a place. That's a place where you actually ask for questions, you get the answers.
Yeah, me and Stack Overflow are like besties, but
I know. It's for everyone.
But it has like some of the same functionality as GitHub, but you're saying it does not. So Stack Overflow, which I use a lot. So anytime I'm like, I don't know how to do this, and I Google search. So currently I code in Google Apps Script. So I type into a Google search, Google Apps Script space, and then whatever I'm trying to do. And usually somebody has answered whatever it is I want to do on Stack Overflow. But they'll have like sample code, like here's some stuff, and I steal it, as all good coders do. But they're not actually saving it there. They're just putting it there to answer questions.
Exactly. Yeah. They may actually copy it from their Git file, right, and share it with you because it's a working solution. Plus, on top of it, they wrote down a little bit of explanation to the code. But think of it, Git, it gives you access to all the files so you can look through them and understand how are they connected. While in Stack Overflow, what you do, you add just snippets here and there.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we're going to take, it does. I literally didn't know that before today, so that was not a setup question. I didn't know. So that's good. So, all right, so then it's free cost. What is this?
It's free. Yep.
Okay. So I see up here it says sign up. So I'm going to click sign up, and I assume that it's fairly easy to sign up. Welcome to GitHub. We'll enter my email. Okay, so I'm going to just stop screen sharing for a second while I type my email in there. It wants a password. Okay. Okay. You want product updates? No. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to screen sharing. I just didn't want to show all my stuff. Okay, so I have to solve this puzzle to verify that I'm human. Okay, that feels intimidating. Okay, pick the spiral galaxy. And that one. Okay, that wasn't so scary, but maybe they're gonna give me a quiz or something.
No, I think they're just making sure it's not a robot, that's why. Easy.
Okay, so then they're gonna send me a code. And that's gonna go to my email. assuming that it expires and it won't matter if people see it.
Yeah, I see actually the onboarding process on GitHub has changed a lot. It has like very fancy right now process, honestly.
I just tested out seconds before we got on this call, and it's different than the one I tested. So I think they updated in the last 3 minutes. Okay, so what do I want to do first?
So what you want to do first, you can actually skip for now, if that's the case.
Should I skip?
Yeah, we can skip for now. Okay. Then we'll see. So now, usually, so GitHub contains a list of repositories, right? So repositories, imagine it's a folder, basically. A folder that contains list of files, right? And then GitHub helps you to track the changes in those files. So whenever let's say on Android, we're gonna create a project, right? Like you're gonna start writing code, and then you wanna push those changes to GitHub, then you have to create repository.
Okay, so I'm gonna create a repository.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call this one Kotlin, right?
Yeah.
Why not? Aida and Alice code. Now, it says public or private?
Public. Let's make it public. It's up to you. Private usually means no one can access.
Private.
Hmm?
What would be your decision maker either way?
Well, private, it's usually whenever you make changes. Like, for example, I have my website, right? My website is actually, the repository for my website is private. Like, all the code source to my website is private, although the one that launches and pushes the changes is public. So, like, it's selectable. Like, let's say you are a business, you have your own app, right? That makes money. Obviously, it's preferable for you to keep it private because there are some keys that you don't want to share with anyone but yourself.
Okay, so do I want a README file?
Yes, I think as a developer, you should always have a README file, and that's important.
Okay. How about a git ignore?
So git ignore, Android Studio will generate for you a git ignore file automatically, so we can push it later on.
Okay. So choose license would be like Creative Commons?
Creative Commons or MIT license or anything like that's optional. Usually you select this one whenever you like create a library, right? There's Creative Commons right there too. I see.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make it Creative Commons.
I mean, I don't know like details about the differences in those licenses.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I know what Creative Commons is. I don't know what the other ones are, so I should probably put some effort in that. Okay, so now I have a GitHub account. I have a README file.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a bunch of stuff across the top.
Yeah, exactly.
So great. Is there anything I need to do?
Okay, so now what we need to do is to push, right? Like we have to back it up from your local machine because right now this repository it exists only in the private, in the remote, right?
Right. So does this mean I need to make a file in Android Studio?
Or you can, do you see you have a button code?
Yeah. Click on it.
Okay, if you click on it, you can actually copy this HTTPS.
Okay, so I'm copying this.
Yep.
They copied.
Okay, and then you can open terminal on your laptop, and then you can just git code.
I don't know how to open up the terminal.
Okay, so
system preferences.
Do you have a search on the top right button, on top right corner?
For my computer, that's true, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Is any of these the terminal while I'm in here? It doesn't doc. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, the Python tutorial I was trying to do today tell me to put stuff into the terminal. I'm like, why would I do that? Okay, so I'm going to switch my screen share then, and I'm gonna share, stop my screen, share my screen, Windows, right. Is this it?
Yep. Now if you type in git clone git space
Clone.
Git. Nope, should be git space clone, and now paste. Yep.
Right. This is my first time accessing the terminal on a Mac. Okay.
Yeah. So now we're pulling whatever happened in remote in the cloud, we're pulling to our local machine.
Okay, it says get Xcode.
Yeah, so we have to actually this.
All right, so you can't see this.
I can see that. Okay. If you open Xcode, let me actually see if we can actually.
So it's finding some software and it's installing this Xcode.
Yep. So let me see. So it's installing right now, right?
Yes. Oh, Marsha's here. Hey, Marsha. So I went to GitHub, which was just github.com, I guess. And I made an account and set up a repository, which is like a folder. And then I clicked on code to copy the link. Just getting this down into like the notes at the bottom. So I clicked on the code to copy the link. Waiting for this. Okay. So then I went to the terminal on my computer and typed in git space clone and then pasted link from GitHub, right? Those are some pretty easy steps. But then once I'm in the terminal, if I didn't already have Xcode, which there's going to be 2 more minutes till it finishes installing, which is fine.
Okay.
That's all right. So we were only going to talk for a few minutes anyway. So today's lesson is make a GitHub account. You don't necessarily have to put it into the terminal and do all these things. You can do it later. So what we will do then is try and make some code next week, and then maybe at some point we'll show how to back it up.
Yes.
Okay. Back it up. But you should have one. You should just have a GitHub account. So that's easy win for everybody. You don't have to be coding Kotlin to have a GitHub. So if you're doing AppScript, if you're doing Python, if you're doing whatever language, get a GitHub. Yeah?
Yes. Even if you're doing Google Doc, you can still back it up. Or any PDF file, for example.
Doing Google Docs?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You can actually back it up any file. PDF, images, anything you want. You create this repository. I'll show you later on, like next week, how in the Finder, in a folder, once you actually pull the stuff, it's gonna create a folder and you can drag anything you want inside. Okay,
that sounds great. So we will come back to GitHub for sure. And I don't know if we're gonna do it next week. What we said we were gonna do this week, we ended up not doing, so it's fine. We'll do something next week that'll help you take one more step to being more knowledgeable about Kotlin, about coding, about being a developer, be it so that you can do it or that you can know just enough to be dangerous to help a student with their goals with coding. So we will see everybody next week. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Bye.